When talking about Israel tanks, the high-tech Merkava is the first one to spring to mind. However, that has not always been the case, as there were no domestically designed tanks in Israel until the 70s. The Israel had to resort to deploying vehicles manufactured in West Germany and the USA. These included the M48 tanks, which were later replaced by the M60s. The foreign vehicles received the Magach designation, which was later used for all the imported tanks. This project also assumed constant modernization of the purchased machines. As a result, by the time the Magach 3 was designed, the M48 had undergone some serious changes. The Israel engineers replaced the massive commander's cupola with a low-profile one. The Continental diesel engine replaced the petrol one, and a new Allison transmission was added to the design. Also, the old 90mm cannon was substituted by a more powerful 150mm one. The tank also received a Blazer ERA kit and smoke screen kit. The Israel version of the M48 was subject to further modernization, but the Magach 3 is the one we're interested in. In War Thunder, this tank is a part of the premium American vehicle tech tree. We suppose you've already figured out how it differs from the linear M48. In practice, this enhances the vehicle's survivability, mobility, and most importantly, its firepower. The tank's primary cannon is the British 105mm L7 gun, which the Israel had licensed for domestic production later on. The ammo capacity of the tank amounts to 57 shots. Possible ammunition types include armor-piercing discarding sabot shells, armor-piercing incendiary shells, high-explosive hollow-charge shells, and smoke shells. The gun is pleasant to use and has high armor penetration. But is there any point in describing such a popular gun? The turret has a fast rotation speed. It also has good gun depression. The main gun is twinned with a 792mm M73 machine gun, with an ammo capacity of almost 6,000 rounds. Another 792mm machine gun is located on the turret, and this one's armor capacity amounts to 1,200 rounds. The armor is excellent, even though the armor plate in numbers might not be the impressive. The frontal hull is 85 to 200mm thick. The vertical angles, ranging from 35 to 65 degrees, are a completely different matter. Moreover, the streamlined shape of the front facilitates ricochet. The turret has a complex armor system too, and retains the vehicle's streamlining. Its armor is 65mm thick closer to the roof and up to 152mm thick in the gun mantlet. Active armor was laid on top of all of this, but not all the way around, just at the frontal projection and sides of the turret. Remember that when positioning your tank. The sides of the hull are 76mm thick in the fighting compartment and 51mm in the back part. Finally, the armor thickness at the rear of the hull ranges from 25 to 30mm. On the whole, on the frontal projection, the armor will protect you against armor-piercing shells at long range and to some extent at medium range, and the add-on armor kit protect against ATGM shells. However, you still have to keep an eye out. There are vulnerable spots too. As we've mentioned before, the petrol engine of the M48 was replaced. Its poor fire safety became evident during the Six-Day War. Besides, the new diesel Continental engine was also a slightly more powerful alternative, with its 750 HP versus the M48's 716 HP. This made the vehicle a bit more nimble, enable it to travel at a speed of 48 km per hour when moving forward and 7 km per hour when in reverse. Overall, the tank has good mobility that doesn't hinder movement on the battlefield. The crew consists of 4 people. The hull is a comfy place for a driver, while the turret houses a loader, a commander, and a gunner. Additionally, besides the primary armor, the driver is protected by the ammunition complement from all sides. He also loves his job. On the battlefield, Magach 3 is a jack of all tanks. It is equally suitable for any kind of combat task, be it defense, supporting allies advancing, or frontline assault. Such versatility grants the tank adaptability to any combat situation, as well as the ability to switch roles if necessary. Although the armor is good, you can't rely on it too much. Your opponents have enough piercing weaponry, and in the open you can still easily go down in one hit. Besides, the peculiar location of the armor rack will only be conducive to the unfortunate outcome. In relying on the active armor, don't forget that it falls off when hit. Keep track of the remaining modules and try to turn them toward the opponent. The one thing that you really need to make the best use of is the vehicle's mobility. So try to circle your opponents and make sure you use the terrain to your advantage. Having some smoke shells on you will make your job easier even in open areas. We recommend you bring at least 5 in case some urgent or daring maneuvering is required. Your primary ammunition choice depends on your personal preferences. However, if you wish to strike down your targets quickly, you'll have to be more accurate. Using hit or sub-caliber rounds won't guarantee you'll destroy the target just by firing at the silhouette. Furthermore, armor-piercing incendiary shells have low muzzle velocity and are only suited for close combat. Another important peculiarity to take into account is the considerable shake of the tank that acquires during sudden stops, as it will hold you back from making a quick, accurate shot. If you encounter an enemy at a point-blank range and decide to make aiming difficult for them, we recommend you start doing halt turns instead of moving forward and backwards. Otherwise, you will end up wasting precious split seconds on the return shot, and this may determine the outcome of the battle. Overall, the Magach is a well-balanced and easy-to-use tank that is suitable for beginners and tanker veterans alike. Just make sure you don't rush after getting impressed by the mobility and stay away from open areas. You can find more detailed information about the Magach 3 and the regular M48 in the War Thunder Encyclopedia.